Hey, Tim.
Hey, Greg.
How's it going?
It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
So we're coming into sort of close to spring.
Getting there.
Yeah, temperatures are starting to get above freezing, which is nice.
It's very nice when you don't have to shovel snow.
Yeah. It's funny, our neighborhood, we had some storms not that long ago, and like the main roads, we were out on like the turnpike, and it was really snowy and difficult driving. Then we got back to our neighborhood, and there was so much salt on the road. Like there was no snow to be seen. And now it's like everything, even now, is still pretty white from the excessive amounts of salt that they put down.
And it's funny because even though we live pretty much in the same town, you live in more of a suburban section.
Yeah.
And I live more of on a mountain, if you will, and the roads are just terrible.
Yeah. I'm a little spoiled, I'm not going to lie. So anything else going on? Anything good?
No, living the dream.
Yeah.
Trying to. Let's see. Watching any good new TV shows?
I started, I think I mentioned a little while back, I started watching How I Met Your Mother again.
I love that show.
Because I felt like I missed some episodes along the way, so I'm starting and going through them all, and it's fun. It's a good show.
It's really fun.
Yeah.
And I just loved how they would go back in time and forward in time and just like play with that whole thing. And I don't know. I love that show just because I think it is our generation.
Yeah.
Like they are our age, and everything that's happening to them is kind of equivalent to
our
us.
experience.
Yeah.
The one I just watched most recently, it was when Robin, they flash back to her being a pop star in Canada.
Robin Sparkles.
And James Vanderbeek.
Yeah.
Dawson from Dawson's Creek is like her boyfriend. It's pretty good.
It's a great show.
Yeah. How about you? Watch anything good?
I just discovered this very old show on HBO Max. You got that HBO Max. You start to look at things. You're like, oh, I didn't even know it existed. And it's a show called Bored to Death.
Okay.
And I can't even remember the main guy. I think it may be Jason Schwartzman.
Okay.
But it's got Zach Galifianakis.
Oh, nice.
And Ted Danson in it.
Huh.
And it's really funny. It's great. It's the first season is as all first seasons kind of get going, but second season was fantastic, and it only has 3 seasons. So we're at that stage where we don't want to finish, because then you're like, oh, it's over. So it's like, do you want to watch it? No, let's watch something else. And then
yeah, that's fun though. I have to check it out.
Yeah,
I like Zach Galifianakis a lot. He's hysterical.
Yeah, he's really good in it, and the best, I guess, chemistry is between Ted Danson and Zach Galifianakis. It's fantastic. Yeah, it's really, really good.
That's awesome. We started watching this, I think I mentioned, Slow Horses. It's
you mentioned that.
Apple TV show, and it's pretty good. I joked at the end of the first season that they'll roll the Mystery Machine back into the garage, shine it up for season 2.
Of course.
Not that it's at all like that level of like Scooby-Doo, but there is sort of it kind of wrapped up with a nice little bow at the end of the season. So.
Yeah. And on HBO, the new season of White Lotus came out.
Okay.
And that's a pretty good one. It's kind of like a murder mystery-esque kind of. Yeah. It's nice. It's not so obvious and stuff. So
cool.
That's a good one.
Yeah. So on the heels of modern TV, we should maybe take a look at what we've got here. We've got some old school magazines that you brought, and we're gonna check out what's in there. Yeah.
Yeah. I went past a garage sale, and I walked through, and it had been sadly picked clean. I wish I'd gotten there earlier. Yeah. But I did find a stack of some older magazines, and I thought we could go through and see what there is.
Awesome. Well, it looks like the first one on the top here is the 1990 Video Game Buyer's Guide. I'm down to check that out. That sounds like it could be kind of fun.
Totally caught my eye. I'm like, oh yeah, video games, 1990? Heck yeah.
Yeah, looking at the cover, there's some good games in there.
It's got the 16-bit System Mega Review, which is best, and I'm curious to see what they're going to say is the best.
Yeah, I'm guessing probably maybe Sega Saturn. Was that when Sega Saturn came out? Or was it Genesis, right?
Nintendo. But what was the Super Nintendo? Was that Super Nintendo? Yeah, that was Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't say that. Sega, Turbo Grafx-16, Genesis, and Game Boy.
Nice.
Game Boy isn't 16-bit, but okay. Yeah. I don't know what's going on there. All right, let's crack it open. Let's see what we got here. There it is, the NES. No, that's old school.
Yeah. Well, the Super Set, I guess maybe that was like a new issue that they threw out there to try to compete.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool when you could do 4 controllers, because for so long it was just 2.
I don't even remember that, Tim.
Yeah.
I didn't know I guess it was for select games then. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I actually came across one of those recently. I do these online auctions where they sell old stuff.
Yeah.
And I came across one of those 4-controller converters, and it ended up going for a lot more money than I was willing to spend. So.
Now, did you get, as Nintendo grew in popularity, there was always, the different types of controllers. And there's one here with the huge one with the arcade type joystick.
Yeah.
But I had one controller, and it was a Nintendo brand, but it had a rapid fire option.
Yeah.
Where if you toggled it over, it would basically pretty much hold down the A button and just like unlimited fireballs or whatever game you were doing. You could cheat so bad at some games with it. It was awesome.
Yeah, similar to the NES Advantage, the big one, sort of the joystick style one. I had one of those, and there was a dial on it, like you could control how fast the auto fire was.
Okay.
And then just push that button and it would fire at will. And if you were playing against somebody who had a standard controller, it was pretty much a guaranteed destruction. So some cool games here.
Yeah.
I remember having the NASCAR game and Star Tropics. I remember playing that.
Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I still have it, actually.
Battletoads, that came up recently in I think it was a crossword, or somebody was asking me a question. And I was like, yeah, Battletoads, that was the thing.
Complete ripoff of the Ninja Turtles. Yeah.
All right, what else we got here?
Here's the oh my gosh, Neo Geo. I remember playing a lot of arcade Neo Geo games because that was a cool cabinet where they always had multiple games you could select.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was a console.
Yeah, I kind of vaguely remember it being advertised, but I don't think any of my friends had it, so I don't think I ever played one.
No. What we got here? This is the Turbo Grafx-16. Yeah. I know of it. I never played it.
I had one friend who had it.
Okay.
I remember playing it a handful of times at his house, but nothing in particular, stands out as like the thing that was amazing and made it better than everything else, except that I think it was one of the first 16-bit options out there. So while a lot of us still had the original Nintendo,
8-bit.
He had gotten this, so the graphics were better. But then within like a very short period of time, the Super Nintendo came out and Sega released their 16-bit option, and
they caught up.
Yeah, so I don't think Turbo Grafx was able to really hold much of the market.
What's interesting is they had this. This is probably true. They were the first CD
that the games came out.
Yeah.
I think I want to say I had a Sega Saturn that was all disc based.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We did an episode on Game Boy. Gotta love the Game Boy, man.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those games though. Race. What is that? F1 Race, Radar Mission, Alleyway. I don't know any of those.
I remember, Super Mario Land. That was one, obviously. But F1 Race, I think I have that one actually. That was pretty fun. Game Boy for $87.99.
Steal.
Yeah.
More games. RoboCop. I love that they released games for movies that kids couldn't see.
Yeah. Oh, this is interesting. I had the Game Boy stereo headphones with the little case. I didn't know it was
with the winding. You twist it and wind the cord around it. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know that was an official Game Boy thing.
What is that thing up in the corner there? It looks like a little black box.
It's a rechargeable battery charger. Okay. Game Boy official.
Because they did crush batteries pretty quick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, these games, The Hunt for Red October, I don't remember that one.
Tour of Thrash.
Skateboard.
Yeah. Here is the Genesis 16-bit. No, I didn't. I played it. Plenty of my friends had them, but
yeah, we were always Nintendo, so we never really had. Aside from that one, I bought like much later on when I got the Sega Saturn, but I didn't have the regular Sega or the Genesis.
And I didn't even like the main game for the Genesis was the Sonic.
Yeah.
I didn't even like that game that much.
Yeah.
It felt like you made half a second and you're like, you just end so quickly. It felt like.
I do remember, I think it was in one of those documentaries about, the games that made us or something, or the toys that made us maybe. And there was a kid who entered this competition where it was like you would play Sonic on a standalone system. And it was like a competition to see who would be the best. And he ended up winning this competition. And it kind of was like the pinnacle of his life. And like since then, he's been kind of riding the coattails of that victory when he was like 15 or 16 years old.
He peaked a little early.
Yeah. But it was kind of cool.
That's funny. Oh, the Sega version of the Game Boy, the Game Gear.
Yeah,
I remember that.
And comparatively, it was kind of cool because it was color graphics and had a lot more capability. But again, I had my Game Boy and I was
very happy with it. Yeah.
And price-wise, it was almost twice as much. So I'm sure, like when you're asking for a gift or whatever, and your parents are like, yeah, we'll get you the Game Boy.
Well, you either get the Game Gear with maybe a game, or you get the Game Boy with 3 games,
Yeah, absolutely.
What is this?
Just more games.
Are they for computer games? Or like desktop?
Kind of looks that way.
Yeah. None of them look familiar, so I think they're computer games.
Yeah. Did you have a computer that you ever played games on? At this age though, like when we were younger.
Yeah, we had a computer pretty young, and the only games I really remember playing was SimCity. Okay. And Frankenstein. No, it was like a Doom.
Okay.
What was it called? Where you would go and oh my gosh, now I'm gonna have to look that one up. Franken something. I forget what it was called, but it was fun because it was just like a first-person shooter, but it was like 3D-esque. Yeah, just like Doom.
Yeah.
But
that's funny.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's funny because we went from like all fun and games to now we're at my invoices. Like it looks like it's an early version of like QuickBooks or something like
Typing teacher.
Yeah, that's funny.
Sim Earth. Yeah, these are definitely adult games. Stunt Driver, golf game,
Jeopardy.
Yeah, home design. Ooh,
this would have been a little later on. This would have been like mid '90s. Did you ever play You Don't Know Jack, or do you remember that?
I think I played it on my phone though. Like I do remember it, but
yeah. I think at my internship they had the PC version of it.
Okay,
and late in the day they'd crank it up and everyone would be trying to figure out what they knew and didn't know.
You know, a game I just remembered I played on my computer was Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Yeah.
Or Santiago? Or Sandiego? Santiago, I think.
I thought it was just San Diego.
Where in the world is Carmen?
We'll have to look it up.
Damn it.
Carmen I always thought it was Carmen Sandiego, like out in California, but I'm probably wrong.
We'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. And here we have some more computer games, just like they have a Jigsaw computer game. The Oregon Trail.
Nice.
Oh, here it is. Oh my dude, was this mental? Look, it's right here. Where in America's past is Carmen Sandiego? It was San Diego. That's funny.
Yeah.
Encyclopedia.
What's that? I kind of miss the days of Encyclopedia. That's how old I am.
Wow, we got a lot of computer games here. We don't care about any of this stuff.
Yeah, it's getting more and more like office
adult-esque.
Floor plan. That's funny.
Oh, and there's a joystick for a PC joystick.
Yeah. We had that exact.
Did you?
The Logitech 3-button mouse. Yeah, I remember that.
That was expensive.
I think my dad through his work, had a hookup where we got one. But maybe he paid that much. I don't know. I mean, I take that back. Like, I think the first computer we had was like $2,500 or $3,000, something crazy. Like, it was expensive to get those early desktop computers.
Yeah. We had a PS1, an IBM PS1.
Okay.
I even remember putting in memory.
Yeah.
To expand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. My dad's like, "Are you sure you know what you're doing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's easy, Dad." And I did it. I don't know. It's just second nature.
Yeah. You take those 2 screws out the back, pop off that beige cover. And
figure it out.
This looks like it's a good spot to put something.
Did we ever find out? I mean, it does say which is best. I didn't see a review. Did you?
No, it's just like, here's a bunch of stuff you can
buy.
I
think they lied. There's no articles or whatsoever. They're just trying to sell the stuff.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is funny.
All right, 1990 Video Game Buyer's Guide.
Oh, the cover was
ripped off. Yeah.
Maybe it's a different magazine.
That's funny. I got the cover for a different magazine.
All right, what else we got here, Greg? We got some Newsweeks.
All right. What year? What month? What do we got?
Looks like we've got July of 1990.
Oh, another 1990.
And
okay.
Fall, winter of some month and year. Education, a Consumer's Handbook, special edition.
These are both Newsweeks.
That's funny. There's no date on this one.
I guess we'll have to look in the... There's got to be a copyright somewhere.
Yeah, that's funny.
Right. Let me see here. Yeah, let's see. What's that one? While I'm looking at that, what's on the cover of that one you got?
So this one, the title is Art or Obscenity, and this was right around the time when 2 Live Crew released their album with 4 women in thongs.
Which, in today's terms, nobody would even blink an eye, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time finding a date on this. It's a special issue. That might be one of the problems.
Yeah.
This is all about education, so throw it away. I don't know, Tim. I'm going to say it's 1990.
That seems like
I found a copyright in here for a commercial, one of the ads. IBM brings it all home. Oh, my God. There it is.
There's your PS1.
An ad for the PS1, which is exactly what we had. No way.
That's funny.
Well, we had it earlier because I probably mentioned this on a previous episode. I was on the internet early, and I remember after the earthquake of the Giants and Oakland baseball World Series, I remember I'd heard about it on the radio, and so I ran downstairs and pulled it up because at the time the newspapers were already printed, so it was like too late to be in the news.
Yeah.
So I pulled it up on the internet and I read all about it.
You were like ahead of your time.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So tell me about Two Live Crew, Tim.
Well, as the House and Senate prepare to debate the future of National Endowment for the Arts, a battle over the place for the arts in America escalates.
Ooh.
Yeah. What is free expression and what is obscenity?
Ah.
Yeah. I remember my brother had the Two Live Crew album.
Oh, did he? Yeah. That does not surprise me.
Yeah. We'd listen to it on the way to school. Sorry, Mom and Dad.
You want to sing us a few passages from the lyrical geniuses that is Two Live Crew?
No, I'm good. That's funny.
That is funny. I'm trying to think. There was the whole big deal. I remember being in high school when the PMRC or some parental group, and I think it probably stemming from something like this about the ratings on. They wanted to cover the thing and put, can't buy it if you're a kid and all those things.
Yeah. Well, and I think it was Tipper Gore.
Yes.
That's a little bit later on, but
yeah.
When Tipper Gore made it her mission to, get everything, the parental advisories and everything. And then do you remember Warrant, the band Warrant?
Yeah.
And the last song on their album it was the album that Cherry Pie was on.
Yeah, okay. I remember that.
There was a little gap and then there was a song that was called Ode to Tipper Gore.
Oh, really?
And they basically they were just swearing for like a couple minutes straight, just to let her know that they were not happy with her attempts.
That's so funny. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I remember, there's a lot of, what can you buy, what can't you buy, where they would cover stuff up and warning labels. And then there was a period of time, I remember when I got certain cassettes, they would kind of print over the jacket, so it'd kind of like cover up half part of the thing. So that was always kind of And then it went on the wrapper when they put a sticker on. And me being the rebel I was, I would cut out the warning label and then stick it in the in the thing just to show how cool I was.
That's funny. I mean, that whole experience I feel like is kind of lost on the current generation, where you would go to the record store or the music store and just walk around and just see the art that went along with the cover of the tape or the CD or the record, and it's kind of lost. Like that was a fun part of the whole experience.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you didn't know, because if you liked a certain artist, maybe you knew 2 of their albums or 3 of their albums, but when you went to the record store, you'd say, oh, here's an album I didn't know about, or here's their first album, let me grab that, because then, you learn more about the band or artist that you liked. Now you just, look, this guy, has 6 albums. I'm just going to listen to them straight through here on my Spotify account, and kind of takes it away.
Although I say that, and I pull back a little because like Barnes and Noble does have a record section, and I think Target has still has a little bit of a CD selection, but it's just very minimal. If it's not like mainstream, you're not going to find anything.
No.
Although this past summer we went to California, we were in Santa Cruz, and there's a record shop there that is like every vintage, everything you could ever imagine on record and on cassette, on CD, old video games. Like it was just anything you can imagine, and it was massive, like just this gigantic store with everything in it. And it really felt like you were stepping back in time. It was a lot of fun.
What's going to happen now and in about 10 years is you're going to start seeing DVD stores pop open with massive collections.
Well, and just this past week, I was driving past where one of the old Blockbusters was. I would go to like every weekend, and I had this nostalgic feeling of like, I'm gonna rent that storefront and open up a DVD store. I'll probably be out of business in like 3 weeks. But
well, once it's just part of when we hit the lottery.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we'll put a Roy Rogers right next to
Roy Rogers, a Blockbuster, and if we run a loss, we run a loss. Who cares?
Exactly. And as we're sitting here, I'm just kind of paging through this Newsweek, and it's a lot of news.
Yeah, I don't know why Newsweek would cram their magazines with so much news.
Yeah.
Now, this one that I have is a special edition. It's all about education, and it's. I think we just talked about this. I don't know if it was on the podcast or not, but just how outrageous the Simpsons were.
Yeah.
When they first came out, like they were like, "Oh my, you can wear the shirts."
Yeah. We just talked about
to
that
school
like 2
and
episodes
stuff.
ago. Yeah.
And so they decided to put 1990. Simpsons were out less than a year because they came out in '89, and everybody, they were the boogeyman of the time. Yeah. And then they have got a nice picture of this Bart and his classmates in class, and he's putting a "Kick Me" sign on Nelson.
Yeah. It's pretty amazing when you think about how that all sort of, came out of was it Tracy Ullman show that they first started on? Yeah. And now, here we are all these years later, and the show is still on TV.
Still going.
And I mean, a credit to, I'm sure the writers have cycled over the years, but to continue to come up with, creative, new episodes. And I mean, to be fair, I haven't watched any of the new stuff in quite a while, but it's still on, so I guess it's doing all right.
I used to be a massive Simpsons fan. Yeah. I would never miss an episode. I taped them all. Yeah. But you just get to a point where it's just oversaturation, and you're like, I need something fresh. You know.
It's always interesting to me though when you get a cartoon based show that gets kind of traction across a large spectrum of the population. Yeah. And so to the point of the Simpsons, that it probably targeted the teenagers, but parents kind of would watch it with their kids, and then we, as we've grown up, our younger generations have picked it up and held on to it, and you never age out as an actor if you're a cartoon. So
they're still going, man. It's amazing.
Yeah. It would be kind of weird and sort of sad, I guess, if at some point they decide that they're going to end it. Yeah. And they would quickly fast forward, where Bart is graduating from college, or Bart's middle aged or something like that. Kind of like, I guess, what they did with Beavis and Butthead with some of the new versions where they're old and
Beavis and Butthead. Yeah.
It's kind of good, kind of sad, all wrapped into one.
Yeah. Well, I know that not that long ago, I just remembered hearing that the Simpsons, they started when we grew up and they would flash back to Homer growing up. He was a child he grew up in the 60s. Yeah. And then they've started adjusting it so when they go to his flashbacks, they're a little bit more. Oh, they're akin to what it should be according to the year. You know what I mean? And I know that some fans were, upset about it, that they're like, well, this doesn't make any more sense because now you're messing with the timeline. I'm like, it's a cartoon, man.
Yeah. Well, we have a multiverse for everything else, so why can't the Simpsons be part of it too?
I will still say probably easily the first 12, 13 years of The Simpsons, absolutely dynamite. Hysterical, funny, and I probably know every episode for the first 13 seasons. And then you just,
well, life takes over, and it's hard to dedicate your Sunday nights to
exactly
Bart Simpson. So, but this was fun. I mean, to kind of flip through some of these, early 90s news and games and whatnot. It's fun.
Yeah. Another interesting thing about us Gen Xers, you get to go relive some stuff from 1990?
35 years ago.
35 years ago. Yeah. All right. Now I'm going to go lie down and take some ibuprofen. Can't get enough Latch-Key Dad content? Well, check out LatchKeyDads.com.
That's right, Greg. On our website, we've got a plethora of photos from each episode, as well as other interesting links to content that we talk about on the show.
Yeah, Tim, I really enjoy all the pictures that you put up there, as they really bring the episode home.
Yeah, I guess I'm not afraid to show those embarrassing photos of my childhood. So, we encourage you to check out the website, LatchKeyDads.com, for all that content.
Excellent. And if you have a moment, check out our shop page where we've got really cool keychains for sale. If you don't know what to get your dad for Christmas, the holidays, Father's Day, birthday, check it out. It's a cool gift. Tim, did you know that listeners should like, review, and subscribe to the Latch-Key Dads podcast?
No. But now I know.
No,
Knowing is half the battle.